This is I learned as an entrepreneur. If you're doing something with another intention, might as well not do it. And this is also something I realized about a lot of good entrepreneurs. When you find out something is working and it is getting you business, keep doing it. Same thing. So even you're working, you have an audience. Wow, you stand up and like they hire you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ordinary Podcast collab with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon podcast. So I'm your host Elton, and here's Bob from Crouching Tiger. And Bob is actually a B2B marketing consultant with over 30,000 LinkedIn followers.
Yes.
It's 30,000. I last checked 30,000, right?
31 now.
Yeah, 31,000. Yeah. And I think the best person to explain what he does, it's him himself. So Bob, what do you do exactly?
So when it comes to LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a marketing consultant essentially. So I help a lot of companies with their lead generation on LinkedIn. So I basically have three models. I have either I do it for you, or I coach you, or I train you how to do it. So I'm also a HRDF certified trainer. So I train companies sometimes, train their marketing and sales teams. And I also do for people. So a lot of times I just take over their account and do for them. And a lot of things you can do from LinkedIn. Maybe I can send you something called LinkedIn Marketing Ladder. Later you can put it here. So the LinkedIn Marketing Ladder you've seen before, right? So it starts from the bottom of the ladder, from connections to profile, and then to content, and then content to events, and then to sending messages on LinkedIn, to getting to the sales conversations. So whatever the client, whether it's building their awareness or generating leads, I come back from what is their objectives. I help them to reach their objectives through the LinkedIn Marketing Ladder, whether it's content, whether it's advertising, whether it's running events. So these are the things that I help them to do, and I do it for my own business as well.
I think let's start from why should people be on LinkedIn actually? What's so special about this platform?
I would say it's not so special, but like you see my podcast, right? So a lot of the guests I get for my podcast are from LinkedIn. All these like Dato' Jake, I know him before on LinkedIn before. Dato' Munira also from LinkedIn. They already know me from LinkedIn before. Many of the CEOs and business leaders in Malaysia and also in the world, you can connect with them on LinkedIn. It's a professional platform with, I would say the word I like to use is occupational data, right? So you actually know what the person's work is. So you can target, when you run ads, you can target by specific position, specific industry, and also specific seniority as well. So if you are looking to grow your brand on the professional side, on the corporate side, then that is the place to be.
Yeah, also people might think that LinkedIn is only for people who are managers, a bit more up on the corporate ladder. But for most people, we're execs and everything. Does LinkedIn actually help us? Should we be on LinkedIn, or is that not the time yet?
When I started my career, I think my first two jobs, right? Many of my jobs actually, my first was gotten through LinkedIn. Of course, applying on the whatever job street, whatever, but I had the best results reaching out to the decision makers on LinkedIn. I just say, hey, I saw you're hiring for this position. Can I send you a resume? So I reached out to them, and really they will hire me on because I reached out to them on LinkedIn. So let's say you are an exec and you are looking to grow your career, you can reach out to a CEO directly. On a real life situation, for you to meet the CEO, there's no chance.
No way.
But for you to network up, fantastic platform.
But where do we start? Honestly, okay, so the question sometimes that I would get is, I don't have anything worthwhile to say. I don't have experience. I didn't achieve anything. Because we always see LinkedIn, oh, we did this, we did that. I went to that event. What do we do at the start?
Yeah, it requires a certain type of personality to be fair, to be on LinkedIn. So you start off by at least having a profile, at least. So LinkedIn is not hard at all to set up. It is not hard. You need one photo only. One photo, and can get Elton to do your headshot. You need one photo only, one headshot, right? And then you can write the rest of the things. So include starting off with your education. So you can fulfill your, you can fill up your education, tertiary, secondary, whatever it is. And then, of course, your beginning, it doesn't have to be your LinkedIn profile. I would say don't have to be fantastic. It doesn't have to be impressive with achievements and things like that.
Okay.
At least having a profile that shares your education background and also your working experience. That is a good start. And then after that, you can network from there.
So you mean by network and building presence, what next? Like after I have a profile. So if you don't mind, walk me through from, let's say I'm someone who is an exec, I've been here for, let's say, 1 or 2 years at my job. I want to get people to notice me, but I don't have a LinkedIn account. What do I do after creating one?
I think the key word there that you said is I want people to notice me. So when I talk to people about LinkedIn, that is the main thing that I talk to them about. It needs to be a certain type of personality. If you want to be seen, you want to network, you want to grow your career, yes, it's a platform for you. If you just want to chill or you just want to just do your own thing, okay, then LinkedIn is not a platform for you. So for example, this is something that I encourage is, for example, your work sends you to training, sends you to events, take photos at these events. At least when you're working, let's say you're working for Deloitte or any of these companies, connect with your CEO. You can say, hey, I'm in the company, connect, and I think they will accept. There's no sort of hierarchy on social media. They'll accept and they'll connect. You can connect with like all the top CEOs in Malaysia, and I think most of them would accept, provided you give a right message. And if you get started, I would say, I also did this in the past when I was attending events. So it's about being seen, right? So you don't know what content to create. So when I have coffee with people, or when I attend business events, business-related events, I'll take photos of the events, put it on LinkedIn and tag people. I still do that today. Actually, all my posts today are still I still do this today. And that's a good start. So it helps you to build that, to be seen and build that brand recognition that you're going to these events, you're good. I initially, when I started on LinkedIn, I post, actually, fun fact, I was one of the first people, I think in Malaysia, to post video on LinkedIn. One of the first. And at that time, and it was 2017 back then. And if you say people who post video and post content on LinkedIn, you can count with 30 people, I think, in the world. So I know all the other content creators that time in Australia and US. I know like good friends like that because not many people creating content.
There's only that few.
It's like 20 people only. So I was like one of the early ones. And at that time, you can put, that's why I started and grew a lot. I saw that opportunity and grew my presence on LinkedIn before it became a bit more mainstream. And you can put your thought leadership in there. So if you are a writer, you are writing blogs on Medium, writing blogs on wherever it is, you might as well write it on LinkedIn and grow a newsletter, grow your presence. It is a place for very different type of conversations. Like you write about your craft and write about business, write about thoughts. Yes, definitely the place, much better than TikTok or whatever it is. So it is a place for you to express your thoughts as well. But if I was starting out, just post photos of you at events. It can be also, like I say, network up. You can ask people for coffee. So I met a lot of people from LinkedIn in person. So it's a great place. So all these things boils down to you. If you're an ambitious person, it is an amazing tool.
LinkedIn is the place.
It's an amazing tool because you can ask any CEO, you can network, you can connect with any CEO, if that is what you want. But what I learned is not everyone wants that, right? But if that is what you want, you can network up, you can post photos of events, you can position yourself, build yourself as a thought leader.
Right. And I think in the previous episode, we talked about entrepreneurship and you said business development and sales skills is your oxygen. And on your platform, on your LinkedIn page, you actually have one article called, let me just see this, 3 ways to get your dream clients. Can you just talk a bit more about that?
I don't recall what are the points already,
Okay,
but
okay,
I'll just make it up. I'll just try to.
I got it. Cold outreach, LinkedIn events, LinkedIn advertising.
It is quite similar. That time when I wrote this was a few years ago, before I had a LinkedIn marketing ladder. So if you put up the LinkedIn marketer, that's more clear. That's more clear. It starts from the bottom of the ladder, profile, content, events. So like Elton, you've been helping me with my email management. So I run LinkedIn events. I have one of the highest attending LinkedIn events out there. My LinkedIn event, right, if you can find it, has more followers than me.
I'll put the link there.
Yeah. No, don't.
Go. Okay, no, find yourself.
Anyway, that is one of the highest LinkedIn events. That LinkedIn event has more followers than me.
Yeah.
So I help clients to run that. And of course, if you have the money at the bottom of the ladder, there is the LinkedIn advertising. So that's all the things you can do with LinkedIn. So to get your dream clients, these are the 5 ways you can get. Of course, I think the hardest part of getting your dream clients when I work with clients is they need to identify. So I start my webinar, you've attended my webinar or watched my speeches. When it comes to LinkedIn, you need to be able to answer this question. Who are your ideal clients on LinkedIn? So you need to break it down to what are their positions, right? Are they CTOs? Are they managers, HR managers? Are they finance managers? Are they procurement? For example, I've helped clients who sell things to procurement. So what are their positions? What industry are they in? Are they IT? Are they HR? Are they what sort of industry, software are they in? And the geography, what country are they in, or even what city are they in? So if you're able to answer these 3 questions, when I hop onto a call with you, then I will tell you what strategy you can reach them. So the hardest part of that article is to identify these dream clients, and then the strategy will come which part of it in the marketing ladder fits to reach those people.
Is there any specific way or ways that could help us identify our target audience?
So most of the businesses I speak to, I do not like to. If you cannot answer this question, these 3 questions, that means your product or service is not mature. Then work on your product first before you start doing LinkedIn marketing. What I would say is, how do you know this? Is when, for example, you are doing. So you are doing like video production and social media, right?
Yeah.
So most of the time, you imagine when you talk to a company or an agency, ask yourself, who do you talk to, right? So most of the time, I imagine you talk to
the marketing manager.
Yes.
So
So it's marketing manager of certain size of company. So if you were to BD or do LinkedIn marketing, you work backwards. How do I connect and start conversations with the marketing manager? How do I do advertising to these marketing managers? How do I do events and invite these marketing managers? So you work backwards from your target. So if you're unable to answer that, that means you don't have a business yet. That is good for LinkedIn lah. You sell flowers. Okay. So I will also in my webinars, I also say this. There are businesses you don't have not everyone has to be on LinkedIn. For example, our friend Joyce does not have to be on LinkedIn. She has a cafe. Does not have to be on LinkedIn. Doesn't matter to her at all. Doesn't help her at all. So if you have a business, so the industries that are not really on LinkedIn, for example, photography. Okay, there are photographers. They are very good on LinkedIn, but it is not the best platform to be very visual. It is not the best platform to put video even. So a lot of the industries on LinkedIn are very tech, sales, marketing, training. So these are like the top industries on LinkedIn.
More technical and information-driven industries.
Yes,
right?
they're very knowledge-driven industries.
Okay. Just now you spoke about your webinar, and you actually mentioned that has more more followers
as of now.
As of now, has more followers than you. And you did mention before in one of your talks that people don't use LinkedIn webinars. It's one of the most powerful tools in LinkedIn, and a lot of people are not using it.
Yes.
Could you share a bit more about why we should use webinars? How is the best way to utilize this webinar?
It is not for everyone. Number one, it is for, like, example, coaches or agencies or software companies. If you're looking to, do demos and things like that, I would say it is underutilized. It grows organically. Of course, I have some hacks for that. It is underutilized because people don't know how to use it. Like, okay, for example, if you're running events and you're using Eventbrite, but you have thousands of followers on LinkedIn, might as well use both and also invite your LinkedIn connections there. So it is basically why I encourage people to do LinkedIn events is, number one, you can invite people from LinkedIn, your connections and beyond. So let's say you're connected to CEOs or whoever your target is, you can invite all of them. Secondly, whenever, that's why my LinkedIn event has a lot of followers, is because every time you attend a LinkedIn event, LinkedIn asks you to share it. So no other event platform does that, right? Eventbrite, there's no network effect, right? This one has what we call network effect, which is the more people attending it, the more it will grow, right? And then, of course, when you do it as well, when you do it, you also get the right audience. So for example, if you do an event on productivity, then you get people who want productivity to join. And then also, it grows organically. You invite your audience, and you also can collect emails also. So like you manage my
I know
email.
how to do that.
Roughly right now I have you know how to download the emails, right? So roughly right now for an email list, I have about 20 over thousand.
Close to 30.
Is it? So don't know. He manages it. I don't check it.
It's about 30,000.
30,000, right? I spend a lot of money on managing it. so it's a great way to grow an email list as well. So it's very powerful, given that you do it in the right way.
I think one more question is, how do you get the attendees to actually come for your event? Because like you can host an event, you can invite, everyone says they're attending. How do you ensure that they actually come and actually stay through the event?
I would say, stay true. Okay,
come first.
All right.
They need to
the
come
hardest
first.
part is the coming part. So right now, because I have a lot of people in the LinkedIn event, so I don't worry.
Okay.
But basically, Elton helps me with this. You need to send reminders. You need to email them. So I email them as well. And LinkedIn does help you to push the event. So I send them reminders 1 day, 2 hours, and 15 minutes before. When I first started out, actually, I go the extra mile. And some of my clients go like super extra mile. When I first started out, I used to message, when I only had a few hundred people attending the event, right? I'll message every single one of them. Hey, thank you for your...
I used to do that.
I used to do that, and then I send them the link. But now we have so many already, we don't do that anymore. But if my client is starting out a new event, I would do it. And then, of course, sending the reminder. So it's a lot of hard work reminding them, whether it's through messages. You have to do both, emails and messages. And even some of my clients take it to the next level and call them also. Ooh. So like some of my clients, they do events, they'll call people up to remind them. So it depends on how far you want to take it. But essentially, you need to remind them to come to the event.
And I mean, I've been doing this for you quite some time. Last time, you actually had different variations of events. You tried out with, I think you did a networking event, and then you have webinars, and then like there's quite a few going on. How do you come to this final one that say, hey, this is the right event, and this is the event that will actually grow my business most efficiently?
Actually, this event I've been doing events. Okay, so I started off doing webinars in the pandemic, right? In COVID 2020 is my first webinar, first ever online webinar, and I've evolved the webinar since. And I also have done, that's how I got to know Sharon here from Iconik. We have to shout out the other episode also. You paste it in. So how I got to know Sharon was through online networking events that I used to do in the pandemic. I was so free. I was so free. I could do online events. I had Thailand Business Connect, Malaysia Business Connect, Europe. I used to do Europe Business Connect. And I did the live version of it. I did the Amit one first. I did the live version of it. And then now, okay, so how I came about is if you want to generate leads, then the one I'm doing currently, which helps to add members to my LinkedIn Business Club. So I have something called LinkedIn Business Club. It's $80 to join per month. You get 30 minutes call with me, and you get to be part of community. You get emails from me, and you get to join my workshops, right? So to grow that, I used to use these webinars to sell my content challenge also. It was a few $100 program for 4 weeks, right? So if you want to do lead gen and to get clients, this particular one that I do, which is teaching and then selling at the end, is the best to generate leads. If you are doing events, for example, I used to do all this Asia Business Connect, networking events, in the hope of generating leads, you will not be successful. If you're doing awards or you're doing... I learned as an entrepreneur, if you're doing something with another intention, might as well not do it.
Okay.
So if you're doing events, for example, if you're doing a conference, do the conference because you want to earn money from the conference, fine. If you want to do the conference, to do a great conference, to build community, to build ecosystem, fine, do it. But if you do the conference and do it for free in the end to generate leads, get clients, I would say there are better and easier ways, like the LinkedIn marketing ladder, to get clients. So in the end, I learned that the hard way, right? I stopped doing all this business connect and networking selfishly I don't have the time and capacity anymore. And if in the future I might want to do again. So if you want to do community, you want to do events, do it for that. Don't have. If you want to do it for getting clients, then in the end of the day you think actually got other better ways of getting clients, like doing podcasts or doing whatever, or like sewing
There's
seeds,
easier ways to do that.
to get clients. So in the end of the day, I settled with this, and this is also something I realized about a lot of good entrepreneurs. When you find out something is working, and it's getting you business, keep doing it. Same thing. So Elton knows this about me. I found something works, and of course I took some time to find how it works. Once I find it works, I keep hammering it.
Don't fix what's broken. You know?
And keep hammering and getting more results from it.
Okay, so I think from what we have spoken about, LinkedIn is a very personal kind of, you showcase your personal achievement, your personal caliber and all those kind of things. But now, as more companies want to, showcase their brand and get awareness and actually generate leads as a company, how can they go about it? Because I think people relate more to the person, because like a face compared to an organization. How can they go about it?
So if a company, you can use a company LinkedIn page. So I do help companies with it. So maybe the question is, when do you use your personal page? So for example, my business, I use my personal page because it's in the end built on my expertise. But if you're a company, so some of my clients are government agencies or any sort of agency. So then use your company page. Company pages are good for announcements, hiring, and advertising. So you can do advertising. So companies that have more budget, you can do advertising on LinkedIn. You can run events at a much larger scale. And if you have the money, more things can be achieved on LinkedIn.
But you're doing it a different way from personal, or is it about the same?
Very different. So if you're doing for a company, you're talking about more budget to advertise. You can advertise your content out there, run ads. You can run events. So if you're personal, you can run events organically and take time to grow like me, or you can advertise it if you're a company.
So corporate is actually a bit harder to grow a corporate page.
It depends though. It's I wouldn't say harder. It's a different type of hard and different strategy and. A lot of, like in Malaysia, a lot of the highest followed company pages like Bank Negara, Petronas, they grow it through advertising, and the objective is very different. So, for example, for a company, if you're Petronas, for example, why you want to be there is because you post jobs through the company page and people check out the company page. So it's very different objectives. The growth is very different. So it's like playing a different game.
Okay, I can understand. Yeah, if you want to know specific strategies and skills, book his time.
Okay, cannot book one.
Cannot book one. Okay,
no link anymore.
Join his LinkedIn club.
LinkedIn business
then you
club.
can get his 30 minutes.
Yeah, so you can at least connect with me on LinkedIn.
And actually, just now you spoke about jobs. Just one more thing that I want to touch on before.
Yep.
How can one actually, because we are competing with so many people for different jobs, like even though you're the same position, a lot of people have the same expertise, same skills. How can you get yourself to stand out and get that job on LinkedIn?
Oh, that's very simple. Like what I did, I think most of my jobs, I actually just connect with the CEO or ask the account director, whatever it is, send a message. If you're posting content on LinkedIn and you are connecting with CEOs, you already stand out from a lot of people. A lot of people just don't do that. So you're posting content, like I tell you, I've talked to a lot of HRs. HR will definitely check your LinkedIn one. It's almost more important than your resume. They'll actually check out your LinkedIn, check out your recommendations. So if you have a complete profile and you're networking, posting content on LinkedIn, you already stand out a lot. A lot of people don't even do that.
From like 98% of.
Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting. But let's say just a interesting scenario. Everyone takes your approach, and everyone takes your advice, and now they have a LinkedIn page, and everyone goes DMs the CEO. Is there ways for you to stand out from everyone?
How to stand out? If you're creating content already, and a lot of you have an audience, then you stand out. So I've seen people do this. They have even people who are in full-time jobs, like they are at either HR or accounting, CFO. I'm actually creating a list of people to follow in Indonesia. So even you're working, you have an audience. Wow, you stand out, man. Like they hire you, they are also leveraging your LinkedIn audience. So if you're an audience, you have content. You have an audience for your content. and you connect with, let's say you connect with a CEO, you are very different than, I'm just looking to connect, right, because I have a profile. Right? You have an audience is so different. They can connect, and then you can, collaborate when it comes to content or whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I just want to ask this. I was quite curious about connecting. So I know who I want to connect with, but vice versa, people can send me connections. Who do I connect with? Who do I accept? Like, on Facebook, you can accept friend requests, or, LinkedIn, Instagram, there's followers and everything.
Who do you accept?
LinkedIn has followers and connections.
Okay.
Is that the same thing? How do you go about that? Do you accept every single connection, or?
I don't. Okay, this is a bit more technical. So when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, you can turn on the creator mode. So everyone has access to this. So you can turn on your creator mode. So once you turn on the creator mode, your default button in your profile will become follow, not connect. So then automatically the first thing when someone visits your profile, the big button there is follow. They want to connect with you, they have to find the 3 dots and the 3 buttons. So that's why even in my profile, like today I have 31,000 followers. I only have 17,000 connections. So people connect with me, and I don't accept everyone. So I'm a bit selfish. Sorry to say that. I only connect with those that has an opportunity, because when you connect with someone, they have license, or they now have access to message you. So yes, so then they already have access to message you. So I don't connect with anyone. So make your profile into the creator mode so that more people follow you first.
So what's next? 100,000. What's your plans for your LinkedIn, or I don't know, any advice for?
Any advice?
Okay, what's next first? What's
next? I have now 31,000, and steadily through the LinkedIn events, it's growing at about 500 followers per week. So my plan is, of course, Elton works with me for a long time. He knows I'm a very numbers-driven person. And when I set a goal to grow something, I will grow it. So now 500 per week. So hopefully in 10 weeks, it grow by 35, and then 40, and target is, of course, to get to a good number, get to 50, and of course, the more it goes, the more. So see it's an asset to share, and of course, instead of helping people with their marketing, I want to be the channel to help people with marketing, to actually push things, or be a media, a voice or a channel.
LinkedIn top voice. You already are, right?
Yeah. Community top voice, whatever it is. Anyway, to be a channel, to be a media channel for companies rather than helping them to build theirs. Yeah.
Okay, before we end, any last things you want to share about LinkedIn that maybe I missed out?
I would say get started. So I would say it is not for everyone. If you're hungry, ambitious, and you want to connect. So for example, this podcast, my Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon podcast, almost all, I would say 95% of the guests came through LinkedIn. So we connected, let's say, we had Nazri Nora, and we went to Media Prima Audio to shoot the podcast.
Yeah.
That came from LinkedIn. I messaged him, and we already talked on LinkedIn for a very long time. Dato J. Abdullah, we talked on LinkedIn for a very long time. Right? All these people, without LinkedIn, I don't know how to reach them. Instagram. So a lot of the business leaders that I had on my pod are from LinkedIn. So if you're hungry, you want to climb the corporate ladder, you want to network with business leaders, position yourself, then it is a place to be, and definitely somewhere where you can put out a lot of organic content and grow as well your audience.
All right. Thank you so much. Before we end, I'd like to shout out Iconik Co-working Space. So this is where we are. Usually they sponsor Bob's podcast, so go and search it up. The link in the description down below. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon podcast.
3 things they do. So that the boss just walked in.
You can share the 3 things.
The 3 things. So you can set up your office here, you can work here, you can do events here, you can do training here, as well can do recording like this here as well. Yeah.
All right. So everything will be in the links below. Click it and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Ciao. Okay, thanks, Bob.